Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Matías Rebolledo y estamos aquí en el Festival de San Sebastián, en el Zinemaldia. Hemos cambiado ya set, inaugurando este segundo día. Estamos en el set audiovisual interior de la María Cristina de Repsol y de Kinótico. Y hoy me pongo un poco la voz de gala para recibir a Hasan Hadi, director of The President's Cake, la tarta del presidente, in Spanish. So, first of all, thank you for your time. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. I'm doing well, and thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, seeing your film, I was wondering how and when did you start to work on it?
When I started to work on it when it was pandemic, so everything was on pause, and I had this idea of this film for so long. So I just sat down and I was like, "This is perfect time for me to start writing something," and not being bothered by anything outside. And I wrote this film in I think it was in 2022, I think, or 20. Not I don't know the date very well. So we applied after that to Sundance Labs. We got into Sundance Labs, and that was a very meaningful experience because there I met some of my mentors who later became my EPs on the film, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Well, let's start speaking about that, a bit of a history of the
Yeah.
film. The movie premiered in Cannes, where it was awarded. You were awarded the Cámara de Oro, the Golden Camera, for
Yeah.
the very first film. So I wanted to ask you about that. How was that the most important festival in the world?
It was very honoring and honestly rewarding, and to be the first Iraqi film ever to be awarded at Cannes is so meaningful. But at the same time, it creates so much pressure for you as a filmmaker for the next film, and the expectations are higher and all that. So I'm hoping that as a filmmaker, you never want to be, tangled with the idea of awards and your films being awarded or something, because at the end of the day, the drive and the passion of telling the story should be that what pushes you to make a film. Awards really, there are so many films that get awarded and get forgotten very quickly, and some films that don't get any awards but like remain in people's history. So anyway, I'm hoping that this award not only just serve me as an honor and responsibility, but I'm hoping that this award can facilitate me to get financing for my second feature.
I hope so, and I wanted to ask you about that financing procedure, because we in Kinótico, we do care about that industrial side of things, where an outlet comparable to Deadline, for example. And I wanted to ask you about that. How did you find the right money? Of course, via Sundance, but I can imagine how difficult it must be to find the right money.
It was difficult. It's usually difficult to make to finance a film, but imagine financing a film in Iraq and telling everyone that it will be a film in Iraq, it will be a period film, and by the way, it will be all non-actors, and it will be depending on one or two kids. So all the risk is so high that it defers people from literally being involved, but at the same time, it creates some magical element to the film. We were very lucky, and I'm very thankful we found the right partners. We got financed by very respectful cinema institutions in the world, DFI, Sundance, SF Film, all of these institutions supported us, but at the same time we also had some private equity who also supported us through early stages until the end of the shooting or making this film. So it was very difficult, but at the same time, this journey, I actually find it a bit rewarding as a filmmaker, because it clarifies your mission and your vision. Because sometimes you get some feedback from someone to be like, well, if this was like this, then it would be something we would look into. And then you're like, yeah, but I don't have that. You know what I mean? Then it's just as if they are giving you the answers that you had for the questions you had as a filmmaker. Yeah.
one of the main reasons that make the President's Cake, La Tarta del Presidente, such a great film, it's your Lamia, the protagonist of the film. Just for context for the audience, we follow her through a journey trying to get the ingredients to make the President's Cake, which was a tradition imposed by the dictatorship of Saddam Hussein in Iraq. So I wanted to ask you, where did you find her? How was that?
Oh, I don't know how we found her. It was lots of street casting. So all of our cast is non-actors, and it was lots of street casting. With kids, we went through tons of schools, and we literally were looking for kids everywhere, on street, in schools, in, I don't know, restaurants, anything. And I got sent this 30 seconds video of Lamia introducing herself, and I immediately felt that she is the one who can carry the film. And, I asked her, and the thing is, with non-actors, you don't have this familiar procedure of like giving them a scene and be like, okay, come tomorrow for an audition. It's very much different. You have to see how they react in a different way, or how they respond emotionally towards the camera or like an audience in a different way. So it was, at the end of the day, it's all a mixture of instincts and understanding the character. And it's a gamble you have to take.
I'm sorry to bring my own opinion into the interview, but I am a kind of a hater of the Dardenne brothers and his misery in cinema. And I was thinking, watching your film, how great are you portraying that without falling or tracing that misery on film, because it's very real. It doesn't feel like imposed, it doesn't feel fake. So I wanted to ask you, how did you find the right tone in order to tell a story that can be sad, but in a way it's also about humanism, about how we are as a humankind.
I think because you watch lots of films, especially about Middle East, that I would say they're very much get feed on that, like to be like that kind of film. And maybe I didn't like to go there, even though the story can be way
of course
more tragical and sad than it is. But I found that this film has this kind of tone, should have this kind of tone. And for me, it was also like to give it an fabulism tone, and magical realism. A bit of magical realism was necessary for this film to make this film accessible to audience around the world, and I wanted to show a story of misery and dictatorship, but in a humorous, dark humorous way.
Yeah. And you really did it. It works. It's perfect. So I wanted to ask you about the cinematography of the film. I have Tudor Vladimir Panduru, if I'm not mistaken. How was that, and how did you find the right style that you wanted to play with? Because there's so much light in this film. There's so much exteriors. It's very playful in a way for a cinematographer. So how was that?
So I watched many films that Tudor has shot. So I had a meeting with him, and in the first 10 minutes, I knew that I want to work with him and have him to shoot this film. But the style of this film was very much a product of many conversations and many visitations of films that we liked. At the same time, it was also an adaptation to what we have. Okay. So we had non-actors, and non-actors usually don't respond very well to be like, I'll cover you here, then now cut now. Do it again or something. So it was very much we were trying to get the natural performance or the natural emotions folding without interruptions so much. So we knew that we were gonna go with economic in coverage, and doing will be probably depending on more long takes, long shots, that kind of thing. And also at the same time, you say we use a lot of lighting. We actually didn't. We were very much like a budgeted film. So but it was the theater who did a fantastic job, with what was available for him.
Wow. The next question is more kind of like for a citizen, not for a film director. What may resonate with audiences nowadays about the President's Cake, it's about how the state of the world is, and how many Lamias are, for example, in Gaza being fatherless, for example.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that. Did you, when you were making it, basing it on the experience of the Iraqi people, did you think that it would resonate with how the world is right now?
No, honestly, it was, for me, it was like just a film about, kind of romance film between two kids, friendship, all that. But it's a very sad thing that a film about 1990s is still resonates with people now and is very much relevant. I think as an adult, when reflecting back, there are some elements in the film that describes the silence of international community or like outside world, because people were going through this misery and there was silence. And I believe evil is a product of two things: a bad agent, someone with ill intentions, and silence. That's when evil prevails. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now it's the same thing happening. Once you have silence, once you have a bad agent, it can be very evil. And again, it's really, really sad. For example, as you said, what happens is like Gaza, what's happening in Ukraine, it's like the product of that is very, very painful that we are still living through this, and we're still having people being silent about that issue, and we're still having international community accepting what's happening with silence.
Well, thank you for that. We have one very last question. We have a partnership with Filmin. I wanted to ask you, speaking about the film, obviously about childhood, but they are turning 18 this year. So I wanted to ask you, what movie would you recommend to the 18 man, the 18 Hasan Hadi?
If I was turning 18 today, what movies would I recommend? Oh. I don't know what to say. Lots of them. It wouldn't definitely. I don't know what to say. I would say Through the Olive Trees for Kiarostami. The Spirit of Beehive. In the Mood for Love. What else? Three Colors. I think that's
a pretty solid.
That's the six films that you have to.
So, are you a fan of Victor Erice's work?
I think Spanish cinema has dealt with dictatorship, authoritarian regimes, fascism in a very smart and intelligent way, and also they also dealt with magical realism a lot in their films. So I think it's also, that's why I feel like very much honored to also be in San Sebastián with a film that also talks about something about fascism, dictatorship, all that. So for me, it's a great honor.
Well, sir, thank you so much for your time, and let's hope the best for the film.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nosotros seguimos, ya sabéis, la tarta del presidente, de President's Cake, se va a estrenar en España de la mano de Atalante. Estamos aquí en el Festival de San Sebastián, en el Zinemaldia, en el set audiovisual interior de Repsol y de Kinótico, y seguimos con todo lo que de sí este 73 Festival de San Sebastián. Todo en kinótico.es, la primera con K, la segunda con C.